That is like definitely the best thing. Literally, when you're doing your thing, the air is outside, like the sky.
It feels super claustrophobic, and there is no ventilation in here, as well as being super crowded.
So the Chicago trip has been and happened, and I am back, but for you guys, it's all yet to happen, and I got months and months of footage. Because I'm not distributing it all at once like I used to. I'm kind of mixing it up with the reaction videos and giving you more of a variety on the channel. But there were so many things that happened. I did a collaboration with Lost in the Pond.
It's very clear that you are recording.
Great. We went to a shooting range. Hooray. I even met some Girl Scouts.
What's your favorite cookie?
My favorite is probably the Samoas.
And trust me, there are tons and tons of taste tests yet to come.
Whoa. That looks amazing. It's so thick.
Your girl put on 5 pounds in 1 week. But let's start at the beginning. So when I was going to make a travel video, I thought I would make it interesting, and I found a whole new way of paying an economy price and getting a business class ticket. And I'm going to tell you all about how you can do that today. But things were not so straightforward. I ended up having to go to the airport and coming back because of a medical emergency with this little guy. He's okay though. I regret nothing, and I would do it again, even though if travel insurance doesn't kick in, it will have cost me a pretty penny. Basically, I got a phone call to say he couldn't walk, and that freaked me out. So I went back, but it turned out he had a swollen paw from his allergies. If you want to get all the ins and outs of that story, do check out Members or Patreon, because I'm not going to rehash the whole thing here. It was a very anxiety-inducing moment though. At Christmas time, I had managed to fly for the first time ever on business class, and I did enjoy the added comfort. So I thought, hey, next time I travel Transatlantic, wouldn't it be super fun if I could figure out how to do that for cheap also? Last time I had a bunch of vouchers, this time not so much. So there are a few tricks that a lot of people know on how to get yourself a business class ticket for cheap, such as sites like Skyscanner. If you keep an eye on track your flights and you're kind of prepared to be a little bit flexible in where you travel and when you travel, those sites can be really good for getting a good deal. Another thing you can jump on with those websites is there are, more often than you would think, fare glitches where they put in the wrong price for a flight, and if you're ready to jump on that flight, you can get it for really cheap. Why does the fucking light keep changing? But if you're kind of flexible on your dates and your times and your locations, Skyscanner can be a great website, but most of us are not that bendy, let's be real. Another thing the Americans have clued me in on is frequent flyer programs and how your loyalty to an airline can pay off. Now, I do think it's easier to do that when you are based in the USA and you're flying from state to state. In Europe, a lot of countries have their own separate airlines and they're not necessarily all connected, although you can get on Avios, and I am collecting points through a couple of European airlines with Avios. And honestly, I haven't found an airline that I think is super fantastic as yet. The only one that really impressed me was Singapore Airlines, but unfortunately they do not fly a lot of times to the places that I want to go. But oh my gosh, when I flew with them, they treat you so well and the service is so good. Another trick that most people know is the use of credit cards, and if you build up points on those, you can get cheaper flights. Again, as a European, credit cards aren't something that I'm massively into. I actually don't have one anymore. I had one in college and it wasn't a great idea, so I just use a debit card now. Maybe I will have to get back into it when I'm trying to buy a house or something, but for right now, not so much. And the final option that everybody knows that is not my secret hack is just going to the airport on the day and asking, can you upgrade for a lower fare? Sometimes they will have seats left over and they will sell you these at a lower price, but there's no guarantee because a lot of times flights are sold out. So here is what you do. There is an auction on every flight for spare business class seats, or I guess first class seats. I haven't come across those kind of flights, but yeah. You purchase your ticket at your economy price, and closer to the date you go on the website of the airline and you bid a certain price to upgrade your ticket. So for example, you could put in $50, $100, whatever you think is going to get you that ticket, and whether it's worth it or not, I will tell you at the end of this video. But basically, you can get your seat for next to an economy economy price. And if all else fails, just say it's your honeymoon, and when they ask where's your spouse, just start crying. You'll probably get the upgrade that way too. On this occasion, with the whole having to reschedule thing, it was a little bit more complicated for me, but that was the original plan, just not how it worked out. I regret nothing. So come with me on my first time flying business class transatlantic, and at the end of the video, I will tell you if I think it was worth it.
I am back in the taxi with Pepe. Hopefully, this is our last trip to the airport.
First stop was the VIP lounge in Malaga Airport. You can tell it's fancy because it has fancy vases and stuff.
Okay, so any of you guys who watch my videos will know that I hate to queue, or sorry, in American terms, go in a line. I hate to go in a line. And so far the upgrade has gotten me to skip 2 lines. Well, not skip, there were separate lines. So to get your check-in, your bags, there was, I'd say, about a 40-minute line queue, and then for security there's a fast lane, and I'd say that was maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And now we are through to the Malaga VIP baby. Where am I? We're through to the VIP lounge, but I've heard it has a reputation as not being the greatest lounge, so let's take a look. I'll show you what I'm getting for breakfast. See, I always say if I was rich, I would still live a pretty simple life. I could be drinking champagne right now, but no, I'm having a Danone yogurt and a croissant and some water. But like, it is going in a bougie glass, so is that bougie?
Here is the view from the lounge. I actually thought it was really cool to be able to see all that stuff, and as you will see later in this video, it is definitely not the worst lounge. They are constantly trying to sell you stuff after you've already paid extra for your ticket, which kind of sucks. But you do get a lot of freebies, like free newspapers, free magazines. And the lounge in Malaga had so much food available. And it was my kind of food. Cereal, yogurt, sandwiches, and lots of pastries. There was obviously a lot of booze available too. And I know that's other people's jam, so go for it if it is yours. They did have gluten-free options, and then that looked less than appetizing. But the sandwiches looked great. It just was breakfast time for me, so I just wanted something a little bit smaller. Oh, cheese in Spain, not great, must say. On my way to Wisconsin, dying to try the cheese over there. Here was more drinks options. Apparently you needed to be in the club to know how to open the bottles, but I did figure it out with this thing over here. There's the lovely cereal, lots of meats and hams and stuff. You know me, I'm a very basic girl. I went for a basic thing, but here's my pastries. I love an old croissant. The bathroom was okay. I did like the fancy lights, but there was no special soap or moisturizers or anything like that, which was a little bit disappointing. But, you know, I decided to go back in for seconds because, you know, you were paying for it and you had access. So got myself some nice sweeties and some popcorns. It tasted very nice. Here's me eating it. Yum, yum, yum. Fake greenery means it's fancy. So, yeah. I truly believe that if you can look out and see suitcases and not look for yours, you might be a psychopath. Okay, so here was the first meal up for grabs. Gotta say, it was okay, not the best. Like, this was my short haul trip. I had to go from Malaga to Copenhagen. And yes, I am watching Love is Blind. This was my seat. I got an extra little seat. The chocolate was for sure the highlight. Also, has anyone ever tried opening a box with one hand and an anxiety tremor? It's not that easy to do, but look at me doing it. Hey, aren't I glad I got a manicure? Anyway, the chocolates were super nice, very fancy, you know what I mean? I'd be happy enough with just a plain old milk chocolate, but these were very nice. Here's me showing you the inside because I'm trying to get better at doing that on camera. This one was super duper nice. I did enjoy the fancy chocolates. There were a lot of additional alcoholic beverages, light snacks, and even spirits available. But your girl did not need any additional food because it was still fairly early in the day for me and I'd had my croissant, which was good enough for me. So this is a lovely shot. I say lovely. That might be me being polite. This is Denmark. I've never been to Denmark. Maybe it's nicer in the summer. It does look a bit wet and miserable. but I mean, don't judge a country by its flyover. This is me walking through Copenhagen airport and talking to you. There's definitely nothing wrong with my microphone, and that's why I'm doing the voiceover here. Look, I got a new microphone. I didn't exactly know that I needed to push it in all the way. I thought it was pushed in all the way, but it wasn't. So this is me trying to find my gate. Also, notice to 7-Eleven. Did not know they existed outside of the USA. I made a big boo-boo here, you guys. I went through customs when I came in to Copenhagen, and then whatever way the airport was laid out, I walked back into the queue again. Like, literally, it looped back around into another queue, and I queued for customs twice. This is me now on my long haul flight from Copenhagen to the USA, and I have never experienced anything so bougie as this. Really cool stuff. I'm going to get into showing you what was inside everything, but even just like the fabric was super nice. As soon as I got on the plane, they offered me this fizzy wine. I won't say champagne because it wasn't. And I took it just for the sake of the shot. I got these really cool things: toothbrush, socks, moisturizer, earplugs, and a little eye mask as well. And something that kind of shocked me and made me a little sus. I've always been led to believe we just need the clippy seatbelts in the economy class, but apparently these over shoulder seatbelts are available. So does that mean you pay more to be safer? I don't know. It's absolutely terrifying. Here's all my buttons that I didn't know what they did until I got going on the flight. And obviously the biggest benefit was all the extra space and the ability to lie down. Here is more menu stuff that was completely wasted on me because I really just like to drink a lot of water when I fly. Your body just reacts to the airplane funny, and it's really important to stay hydrated. Life lessons from me. Also, couldn't skip the Coke though. I'm not actually a nuts girl, teehee, but these nuts were super nice as they were warm and they were just hot and handing them out. So also they put that little tablecloth down, which I thought was very cute. Here's the bathroom. This bathroom is the strangest thing ever. Okay, so literally when you're doing your thing, the air is outside, like the sky and the window, and it feels really strange to have it open, but obviously nobody can see you, but you can pull it down for your own comfort. But it is a strange phenomenon, and here is a twig, which apparently makes it fancy. Here's me lying down, enjoying all the comforts of being able to stretch my legs out. That is like definitely the best thing about flying there. There was very little I could actually eat in upper class. Can I just say, I actually prefer a lot of the meals in economy. They gave me salad and bread, and I was like, I think I would prefer the L chicken and pasta. Here's a stress pimple. Anybody who's familiar with flying knows you do get plane pimples. This was quite nice. I got chicken and mac and cheese with some fancy stuff on it. A nice ice cream, chalk ice with, I guess, berry inside. I'm not too sure. Okay, here's the thing my dermatologist told me. He was like, glaze up like a donut, put your face mask on. You will be thankful at the other end. And the fact that nobody could see me made it great. Here's more food I didn't really like. It was salmon, so I got some crisps instead. Here's me opening another fancy box of chocolates with one hand. They were delicious. And here's me eating them. This is a very good commentary, isn't it? Anyway, it was really nice inside. Some kind of berry stuff. I did appreciate the chocolate more so than any of the meals. And I half wanted to go, hey, what are economy eating? Because all this lettuce and salad and fish ain't it for me. But call my palate unrefined. I'm totally okay with that. Give me French fries and burgers any day. Here's me flying over the city of Chicago. And now we're going to break the space-time continuum, and I'm going to show you the way back.
So Fast Pass does not work in O'Hare Airport. It is not a thing. You are in the same queue as everybody, and it's a long ass queue. I am at the Chicago O'Hare SAS Lounge. Now, this lounge has frequently been referred to online as one of the worst lounges in the world. And let's go find out why.
So the biggest thing people complain about is how tiny the space is. It is absolutely tiny, and there is very little ventilation. On top of that, there is a minimal food choice. Wait until you see what's coming up here. The cans were better than the ones in Malaga. You had to open the bottles and you could like take them and bring them on the plane with you. The cookies weren't even like homemade cookies. They were just like out of a wrapper cookies. And food wise, look, they've pretzels, a couple of chips, and get this is what I was like, what? Basically pot noodle, instant noodles. And there's like make your own drink machine, but this is what I walked away with to eat and drink. I don't know why I got a pot of honey, but I did bring it back with me, and I do like honey, so yeah. Also, they were braggadocious about free Wi-Fi. Like every airport in the world gives you free Wi-Fi. The view was standard. I mean, you got to see out the planes, but the area where the TV was so tiny. Check this out. So squashed.
While it's certainly clean and well maintained for what it is, it feels super claustrophobic, and there is no ventilation in here, as well as being super crowded. The food options are very limited, to say the least.
And the kicker, in the smallest, worst lounge in the world, there's not even a toilet. But if there had been, I would have missed out on this general public toilet in the airport. Has anybody else ever seen these before? Am I behind the times? My mind was blown. I was like, are we in Japan with this futuristic toilet right here? We are living in the future. I had to read the instructions on how this worked. So basically, it puts a sanitary seat cover and then it spins it round when you press the button. Look, check it out. Wow. What a waste of plastic, if that's your thing. But also, I guess good, because clean. This, I've never seen this before.
I'm unclear whose stress is relieved while eating salad. Open-minded, but chocolate does it for me.
I was so happy I brought a load of spare charger batteries with me, because none of the little seats that you could supposedly plug your stuff into to charge your phone worked. I've been masking up on the plane for about a decade now, since before it was cool, because I always get a cold. And people were full on coughing in my face at the airport. Again, on the way back, we had all the lovely space, all the extra food and beverages, and I got to catch up on Big Little Lies. The food was decent on the way back, but again, a little bit too much fish for my liking.
So was business class worth the extra couple of bucks? I think if you manage to do a hack, it definitely is. Would I pay thousands to upgrade? No, I wouldn't. For me, the food was maybe a little bit too fancy. I know some of you guys might appreciate it more than I did. I kind of just like basic food. The thing about economy these days isn't so much that it's the basics, it's like they almost make you suffer in economy. So upgrading, you're getting the benefit of being treated like a human being almost. No, not almost, like actually. We are treated like cattle in economy. And it's really sad to say that there is a need to pay extra just to get a convenient, nice way of traveling. But unless the whole system changes sometime soon, it's probably going to stay that way for a while. But I definitely did appreciate lying down, especially on the way back. When you're going over there, the world is spinning one way, and then when you're going back, it's still spinning that way, but you're going in the opposite direction, so it makes you tired. Plus, you're excited going over on your vacation, and when you're coming back, you're like, ooh, hurts. So you're way tired, and it was really nice to get to go to sleep. Anyway, so much stuff to share with you from this trip. I can't wait to do it all. Editor Diane certainly has her work cut out for her.
I hate you, you annoying bitch, and I hope you die.
Shout out today to a couple of very cool patrons.
Our first shout out comes from fellow traveler Jim Ross, who wants to shout out the many citizens of Tokyo who have helped out a lost gaijin, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, to find where he was going when Google Maps led him astray. He says a few led him 20 to 30 minutes out of their way because he was so lost. You hear stories about this, but they're not just stories. In his case, they're actual facts. People are really good to you when you're traveling. Thank you so much, Jim. Our second shout out comes from Brian Ediger, who wants to shout out his fellow tabletop role-playing gamers. He says, we have fun and use our brains while doing it, creating characters, problem-solving scenarios, doing math or maths for the folks across the pond, and saving the world, all while enjoying friends, food, and drinks. What more could one ask for? Thank you so much, Brian. And last but certainly not least today is Ricky Kerry, who wants to shout out Irish Heritage Month in March. He also wants to shout out Chewy, and he hopes he gets good snacks and happy, joyful vibes. Ricky and Chewy agree that we all need good snacks. Very true, Ricky. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. That's it for today. See you on the other side. Bye.